to not have your head make contact with the floor. You'll accomplish this by keeping your chin tucked to your chest. Once you get used to keeping your chin tucked when you rock back, you can then start to utilize your arms in the break fall. As you fall back, you'll now slap the mat with the palm of your hands and let the impact go through your forearms, upper arms, and back. That'll allow the least vulnerable parts of your body to take the impact, all while keeping your chin tucked to your chest to protect your head. We need to keep our hands and arms close to our hips when we slap down, almost at a 30 to 45 degree angle in reference to our body. If we slap with our arms at 90 degrees or by our shoulder height, it will not give our hands and arms enough time to absorb the impact and will lead to a higher chance of our head hitting the floor. Now, we're going to keep everything the same, except we're going to start from a standing position. For us to do this, we're going to make believe like we're sitting on a chair and fall back while keeping all the other steps the same. The type of break fall we just saw works best when you're falling straight back. But now what happens if you're falling to your side, like shown here? You are now going to have to perform a side break fall. We start by hugging our knees to our chest and then sweeping one leg and the same side arm so that we slap the mat with one side of our body, as shown here. The key here, like before, is to not have our head touch the mat, and we do this by always keeping our chin tucked to our chest. If you are finding this motion too difficult to begin with, we can always start in.
I keep my knees to my chest, elevating my hips. When I open my legs, what I want to do here is I want to make sure that I clear my head almost completely and roll all the way over my shoulder here. And I land with my toes in base. Okay? So when you're doing this, I try to avoid coming up on my knees here, even though this is a perfectly valid warm-up. I try to get over my shoulder, spread my legs open, and pop my head completely through. You can also use your hands. You'll notice I'm framing on my leg when I do this. So my left arm again is giving me support, and I'm just popping my head through. Then I can do this again to the other side, and I'm completely rolling over my shoulder. I don't want to roll onto my neck like this. If you have this problem when you try and do an inverted shoulder roll, it's because your head is in the way. So simply just look to the side that you want to pop your shoulder through, and I want to get that feeling for rolling over my shoulder, being in base on my shoulder, and again, my arms are helping me as my feet make their way to the ground. Okay, I'll do it from the side. So I'm here, I'm going to look over my shoulder to the side that I'm trying to go to. So I'm going to roll over my left shoulder, I'm going to look to the left, balance on my shoulder, and pop through. Again, my legs are straight, they're open wide, and I'm trying to keep my knees off the ground. It's a very simple but very crucial roll to learn, backward shoulder roll. The reason you don't want to come to your knees is because in a situation where I'm getting stacked and I'm getting pressure passed, I want to have my feet in base, not necessarily my knees. Okay, so when I'm here, if I come up to my knees, this sometimes just gets you rolled into turtle, okay? If I can plant my feet on the ground, I can rally from here and I can continue to defend as I'm getting pressured until the point where I can hopefully re-guard or get back to a comfortable space without getting rolled back into turtle.
My hand might be on my chest or on my belt. It needs to be some of these two places. Why? If this hand is loose, you can either poke your eye, hit your face, you can get hurt. You hurt yourself. This other leg needs to be stepping on the ground. You don't step your legs together because you hit your ankles here or your knees, and that hurts as well. Chin to the chest all the time. So now we're going to switch. As I switch, I'll switch arms and legs. Switch, switch, switch. Switching angle. Switch, switch, switch. Switching angle. Switch, switch, switch. Now I'm going to stand up. And I'm going to display the same technique from the stand-up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swing my arm and my leg together. And my base, I will change the level in like a pistol squat. So basically, it's going to look like this. hand on the belt or hand on the chest, swing, pistol squat, both sides. I come up, the other side, different angle, different side, different angle, different angle.
Everything I do is from my feet being in base. So now I'm gonna tuck myself in and go to the other side and try and keep my foot on the wall. So as I'm here, here's how I teach my guys, because some people have a problem doing this drill, getting from here and curling all the way inside. The way I described it is I'm holding a ball and I'm trying to put the ball over here. So that encourages me to put my head near my leg. So as I'm here, I top step and I'm right on my side. So I'm also in base on my left elbow and I'm curling in and my toes are in base. So as I'm coming through, I'm gonna top step and curl myself inside again. So I'll go back, I'm here, I have my ball, I bring it over here. My ball, I bring it all the way to the side, and I come to the other side. Okay, and then I can do it from this angle. So my feet are actually what gives me the torque to pull myself in. And you'll also notice that when I have that ball or whatever, I want to sit up into this movement. And that's going to help you accelerate your berimbolos as well. When I sit up into the movement, it gives me a little bit of horsepower. So again, here, sit up. Okay, wall tornado drill. So using the wall for your tornado roll is going to help you if you lack a little bit in flexibility and you can't get your toes all the way to the mat. You can now use the wall here. So as you can see, my feet aren't all the way down to the mat. I can use the wall rather than putting my toes onto the floor.
Shoots in for the lead leg. Coach T removes the leg and replaces it with the hand. Okay? The drill to practice here is to practice touching the mat where your foot was with your hand. Okay? Relies quite a bit of hamstring stability, so you may fall in balance, that's totally fine. But this is something you can practice a couple of sides. You could shuffle to the side and practice this. You could come back the other side and practice this. Moving around and just get that leg out of the way and touch the mat. Okay? By replacing the foot with the hand, what we're doing is we're bracing with our arm in front of our opponent's shoulder, okay? Denying his ability or her ability to continue to drive, okay? And putting us in a good position should they do that we can then fully sprawl and stay in the top position. Okay, so that's the downward block. Okay, the next level will be to look at a sprawl, okay? And this, first and foremost, I don't teach this often, but I know it's a legit technique. This is sprawling to the knees first. Okay, so let's say we're out in a match and someone's fainting a lot and we feel a shot's coming, we can just simply sprawl to the knees. Okay, should our opponent continue to drive at that point, we have the ability to flatten our body out into a full sprawl. Okay, the benefit of sprawling to the knees is it means we've only covered half the distance and we can very quickly come back up and recounter on the legs. Okay? Good. The next technique we're going to look at is what I call the level 1 sprawl. Okay, similar to breaking down the bridge. This just is a simplified version of the sprawl technique. Okay, a great thing for our little champions to practice, or for anyone new to jiu-jitsu. Okay, so we're in our wrestler stance, and all we're going to do is drop back onto our toes, keeping our knees off the floor, arching our back in good posture, and pop straight back up. And getting used to going down in one motion and back in one motion. Notice that our hips stay perpendicular to the floor in the level 1 sprawl. Okay? Level 2 sprawl. This is where we drop one hip, so our lead leg's hip, to the mat. Okay, so it looks like this. We turn our hip, the leg that was being attacked, that hip drops to the mat because that's the danger. Okay? We take all the space underneath away, deny our opponent the ability to be able to capture that leg, and we can jump straight up. Okay, and you can play around with this. You can drill the downward block into a sprawl, a downward block sprawl to the knees, a level 1 sprawl to a level 2 sprawl. It's a great workout. It's going to get you fit. It's going to keep you active during lockdown and get you used to being super sharp on the feet.
So I'm going to have Matt sit his butt down over here, head in his feet. And we're going to start just by kind of like rolling back like we do for a backwards roll and just bringing our knees up, right? So his hips are coming up into the air. Excellent. The next step after this is for Matt to start extending his feet to the ceiling. Beautiful. He's gonna go back, he's gonna put his feet to the ceiling. Now what we wanna make sure is that when he goes back, his feet don't go over his nose. Because if you think about your opponent, they're gonna be over here. They're not gonna be over here. Excellent. Now, you can see when Matt does this, go ahead and you can use your elbows again. He's using his elbows to assist him. Most often in jiu-jitsu, when you need to do this, your hands are gonna be working stuff. You're gonna be working grips. So you're not gonna have your elbows. So to start, you can certainly use your elbows on the ground to help you with your abs and get your legs up. Once you get good, no hands required. Excellent. The next thing that we want to do with this is we want to start adding movement. I'm going to move so I don't get hit. But every rep that Matt does, he's going to turn about 45 to 90 degrees, and we're just going to keep with extending our feet straight to the ceiling. Comes back, he could go in a circle, or he can just come back around the other way. So he's practicing his left and his right movements, because in both of these attacks, you need to be able to get angles on your opponent. The last step is we can start adding in the triangle to it. So we can do this stationary, we can do it with movement. We'll do a stationary one first. Matt's gonna pop up, and then he's gonna bite down his triangle by bringing his foot behind his knee and coming back in. Hips go back up to the air, and he goes again. You're gonna see that the foot that comes down, he's gonna point the direction he's gonna turn. So if this knee's coming across, that means when he does this, he needs to turn that direction. The other leg comes down, now he needs to turn into me. So you can do a couple more. Perfect. It's actually nice because I can sit right here and it forces.
It's actually the shrimp. Now this is a fundamental drill movement for our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program. So we're gonna start off on the floor side first. So as I lay down, my hands are at my chest, my elbows are tucked in, okay? Now what I wanna start is bringing my heels close to my bottom. By allowing my heels to come to my bottom, it allows me to lift my hips up and turn to either my left or my right shoulder. Now, whichever shoulder I start on, I have 3 contact points, shoulder and both feet. Now my top leg, I'm gonna drive off, bringing my hips behind me, creating space between myself and another person. I go back to my opposite position, right side now, take my hips, place behind me, pushing off my top leg, and that creates my shrimping motion. Now the purpose of the shrimp is, one, it allows us to create space when someone's on top of us, either from a side control position or
that's me just rolling up over my shoulder or rolling forward over my shoulder. Let's do bridging. Bridging is the third important movement pattern for jiu-jitsu. Bridging, much like the name, I'm creating a bridge with my body. My feet are close to my hips. I'm on my toes. My heels are on the ground. I'm on my toes here. That way I get a deep follow through as I'm bridging up. Note how if my feet are far away, I'm on my ankles. Look how high my hips go. This is wrong. I want my hips to go as high as possible. So I'm bringing my feet as close to my hips as possible, and then I'm gonna bridge over my shoulder. The follow through is born with my eyes, meaning that as I bridge, I'm bringing my hip, my belly button to the sky, I'm turning on my one shoulder. It's my eyes that look at the mat. I don't keep my eyes looking at the sky. I do this, I don't bridge very high. I want a deep follow through. I use my eyes to bridge up here. And then I'm also bridging this way as well as a part of the warm up. When I'm bridging, I also keep my forearms in front of my face. It should look like I'm a boxer. I don't bridge up like this. See how my whole body is open? I can get attacked, right? My training partner can take a high mount on me. You can transition into a higher position. I keep tight like a boxer, as well as I'm bridging up and putting my eyes to the floor, keeping my feet close to my hips. This elbow, if I'm bridging to my right shoulder, my right elbow slams into the mat like this. Here, to give me more height, greater momentum. My elbow here stays directly in front, never like this. Here, same thing on the other side. Eyes to the floor, feet close to my hips, I'm on my toes, elbow to the mat, elbow up like so. Right side, right side, and left side. And then
Draw circles in the other direction. So I'm going to explain this first. We're not bicycling this way, we are drawing circles this way with our toes. And this develops hip mobility and it develops the ability to get your hooks in whenever you're in the guard. So watch me again, I'm going to draw circles in this direction, okay? Not this way, so side to side, like the Olympic circles. Okay, my head's off the mat, I draw circles. My hips are moving side to side, my legs are nice and loose. I switch directions, I come under like so. All right, I'm gonna spin to the other side so you can see it. So I lie back, my head is off the mat, my legs are moving in circles, and then I'm gonna switch directions and move in circles. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this with your friends. This is Brian Jones from Valhalla.
well, I certainly don't want to lead with my face, and I just don't want to lean forward like this where the person could punch me directly and knee me as I come up. I need to go and protect my head. So do you see how I may be on the ground, but from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my leg, kick it out from underneath me, and now I'm able to go and stand and fight. How did I do that? If I'm on the ground, my right hand is posted, I'm going to extract my right leg. Right hand, right leg. Maybe do a little bit of a kick, keep them away from me, and I'm lifting my hip off the floor, switching my body, keeping my hand in front of my face, putting my foot behind me, and then I'm up. You can actually do a little drill to help exercise this. See how I'm sitting on the floor, right hand, right foot, pull up. I'm gonna sit back down again. Left foot, left hand here. See my left foot pulls out from underneath me. My hip is off the floor, keeping my hand in front of my face. Pulls out from underneath my hip, then I'm able to stand up. So it looks like this. Right hand, right foot, left hand, left foot. And doing a little bit of a drill. This is great for warm up, but as well, just helps